Press your thumb into the skin just above your ankle bone right now. Press it in firmly. Hold it for exactly 10 seconds. Then release. If you can still see that pale indent, you need to stop everything and watch this. That dent is a warning sign, but it's likely not a heart problem. In fact, for the majority of people watching this, your heart is perfectly fine. It's your shadow system that is failing. This is a massive, complex network in your body that has no pump, no backup, and zero way to function unless you trigger it manually. Most doctors never mention it until it's too late, but in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the exact daily signals required to restart this system and flush those toxins out of your legs for good. You've been told to cut salt. You've been handed diuretics. Some of you have even cleared a cardiologist exam only to walk out with the same swollen ankles and zero answers. But here is the truth. That water pill is likely failing you because it's targeting the wrong liquid compartment entirely. It's trying to drain your blood when the problem is trapped in your tissue. Inside that ankle, your stagnant fluid has turned from a liquid into a thick, toxic jelly, something no pill can reach. To clear it, you don't need more medication, you need to trigger a specific biological flush. I'm going to show you a 5-minute habit, but be warned, if you perform these movements in the wrong order or at the wrong time of day, the fluid simply stays locked in place. Here is the exact sequence to unlock your lymphatic gates. I am Dr. Michael Kent, and I'm asking you to stay with me for these next few minutes because the biological mechanism is the only thing that makes the fix permanent. I could easily hand you a list of exercises right now, but I know how this ends. You do them for 2 days, see no change, and give up. I'm not here to give you a workout. I'm here to give you back control over your own circulation. Once you see exactly how your tissues are being strangled from the inside, you won't just do the protocol, you'll understand why every second of it is a rescue mission for your legs. Here is the mechanical failure that is currently keeping you swollen. Let's start with the system your doctor overlooked. Your body doesn't run on one fluid network, it runs on two. The first is your vascular system, the arteries and veins you already know. This system is biology on autopilot. Your heart is a relentless, automated pump that forces blood through your body every second of your life, whether you're fast asleep or sprinting for a bus. You don't have to think about it, and you don't have to help it. But that luxury is exactly why the second system is currently failing you. Because unlike your heart, your second network has no engine. It is completely manual, and if you don't know how to operate the controls, it simply stops moving. That second network is your lymphatic system. But here is the terrifying reality that changes everything. It has no pump. None. While your heart handles the blood, your lymphatic system is a massive, silent network of drains that runs alongside every single blood vessel in your body. Every minute of the day, fluid is constantly leaking out of your blood and into your leg tissues, meant to bathe your cells and pick up metabolic trash. But once that fluid enters your tissue, it is essentially orphaned. It has to be manually dragged back up to your heart through these fragile lymphatic pipes. We are talking about 2 liters of fluid every single day. If your manual system isn't working, those 2 liters don't just vanish. They stay trapped in your ankles, turning into a toxic, heavy pool that slowly strangles your circulation. But remember, there is no heart driving this, no automatic engine. Your lymph moves through one force alone, muscle compression. Your calf muscle is quite literally your second heart. Every time that muscle contracts, it's supposed to squeeze those vessels like a fist, forcing that toxic fluid upward against gravity. But the moment you sit still for a few hours, that engine dies. The pump stops entirely. Without that mechanical squeeze, those 2 liters of fluid have nowhere to go. They begin to pool around your ankle bones, quietly stagnant, building internal pressure until your skin feels tight and heavy. But that's just the beginning, because there is a specific way that aging changes the math of this process, a biological shift that nobody warns you about until the damage is already done. Recent peer-reviewed research on lymphatic aging has confirmed a terrifying triple threat that begins once you hit your 60s. First, the tiny muscles that wrap around your vessels, the ones responsible for that rhythmic pumping, actually begin to wither. Researchers found that in older tissue, these muscles lose their density and their strength. Effectively, the walls of your pump become too weak to push. But it gets worse. Second, the one-way valves inside those vessels, the gates that prevent fluid from falling back down to your feet, begin to fail. In aged vessels, scientists have documented a phenomenon called reversed flow. Instead of draining upward, the fluid is literally leaking backward through broken gates. Your pump isn't just weak, it is leaking. And when these 2 failures happen at the same time, your legs aren't just swollen, they are being flooded from the inside out. Third, the very structure of your lower legs begins to fail. Think of your skin and tissue as a tight, elastic sleeve that helps hold everything in place. As we age, that sleeve loses its snap. It becomes loose and stretched out. This means that instead of being forced back into the vessels, the fluid has more room to spread out and sit heavy against your ankles. The reservoir isn't just growing, the walls holding it back have collapsed. When you combine these 3, a weak pump, leaking valves, and a collapsing structure, you get the exact crisis you see in the mirror at 8 o'clock every evening. It is a system being flooded faster than it can drain. But before I show you how to manually bypass this failure, I must draw a critical line to protect you. There are 3 specific instances where you should not use this protocol, and ignoring them could be dangerous. There are 4 specific red flags that mean you must stop this video and call a doctor immediately. Do not ignore these. First, look at your legs. Is one significantly larger than the other? If that leg is warm, painful, or red, you aren't dealing with simple swelling. You could be looking at a deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot. That is a medical emergency that requires a physician today, not a home protocol. Second, listen to your breath. If you find yourself gasping for air when you lie flat, or if a single flight of stairs leaves you exhausted, your heart is struggling to keep up. This is far beyond the stage of home management. Third, watch the scale. If you've gained 4 pounds in a week and notice your urine looks foamy, your kidneys are likely leaking vital protein. You need blood work this week. And finally, if the swelling is only in one leg, feels rock hard rather than puffy, and you have a history of cancer treatment in that area, stop. Have that evaluated professionally. If you have cleared all 4 of these checks, you are ready for the fix. If none of those red flags apply to you, if your swelling is a slow creep that hits both legs, feels heavy by sunset, but vanishes by morning, then you are in the right place. You are part of a massive group of people who are being failed by the standard medical system. Statistics show that 1 in 5 Americans over 55 struggle with this daily, yet almost none receive a real answer. Why? Because the lymphatic system has no blood test and no standard imaging. It is invisible to routine care. But just because your doctor can't see it on a scan doesn't mean the damage isn't real. To fix this, you first have to identify which failure mode your legs are in. There are 3 distinct categories of swelling, and the protocol only works if you match the fix to the right one. Category 1 is what I call the back pressure leak. In this scenario, your vein valves have weakened and blood is literally pooling in your lower legs before it can climb back to your heart. This creates a high-pressure environment that forces water out of your vessels and into your skin. Look closely at your legs. Do you see twisted, visible varicose veins? Or perhaps a brownish, rusty staining on the shins just above your ankle? If your swelling is at its absolute worst after a long day of standing, this is likely your primary failure mode. But pay attention. Even if you don't see these stains, you could be suffering from category 2, which is far more common in those who live a sedentary lifestyle. Category 2 is purely lymphatic. And if you are over 60 with no other symptoms, this is likely your exact pattern. This swelling is soft and pits like dough when you press it, often bloating the top of the foot. I want you to perform a clinical diagnostic test on yourself right now. Try to pinch the skin on the very top of your foot, just behind your second toe. If the skin lifts easily into a fold, your lymph is likely flowing. But if that skin feels fused, thick, or impossible to pinch, you have just confirmed a positive stemmer sign. This isn't just a guess. Peer-reviewed research has proven this simple pinch test is 92% accurate at identifying deep lymphatic congestion. If you can't lift that skin, your shadow system is officially stalled, and the fluid is beginning to bond to your internal tissues. Category 3 involves the heart or kidneys. Most people fear this, but if your swelling has no companions, no shortness of breath, no sudden weight gain, and no foamy urine, it is likely not your culprit. However, if you do recognize those signals, stop here and get a professional workup. For the vast majority of you watching, the reality is category 2. Your heart is fine, your kidneys are healthy, but your shadow system has officially hit a dead end. Your days have become more sedentary, your lymphatic valves have aged, and your internal drainage hasn't just fallen behind, it has stalled. The fluid is sitting there becoming more acidic and more difficult to move with every hour you wait. Now that we've identified the exact mechanical failure in your legs, it's time to perform the manual restart that clears the path. Let's look at the hidden clock running inside your body every single day. You wake up and see a false normal. Because you've been lying flat for 8 hours, gravity stopped dragging fluid down, and your system had a temporary window to clear the backlog. Your ankles look thin, you think the problem is gone, but the moment your feet hit the floor, the clock starts ticking. You sit for breakfast, you drive, you sit at a computer or in a chair. By 2 p.m., you have been vertical but stagnant for 6 hours. While you've been focused on your day, your capillaries have been relentlessly bleeding fluid into your tissues. Because your calf muscles are silent, the pump is off. By mid-afternoon, your lower legs aren't just swelling, they're becoming a heavy, stagnant reservoir. And every hour you sit, that fluid gets thicker, harder to move, and more damaging to your skin. By evening, you feel the weight. you see that deep, angry groove your socks left behind, a physical map of the fluid trapped beneath your skin. But the real betrayal happens when you finally lie down. Without gravity holding it back, that reservoir of ankle fluid suddenly floods back toward your heart. Your system is hit with a volume load it wasn't prepared for. Your kidneys go into overdrive to clear the surge, and suddenly you're awake at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., and 5:30 a.m. You wake up exhausted because you spent the night drowning internally. And this is exactly why your water pill has failed you. A diuretic is designed to pull water from your blood, but your problem isn't in your blood, it's trapped in your tissue. Taking a water pill to fix swollen ankles is like trying to drain a flooded basement by mopping the roof. You end up dehydrated and fatigued, while the flood in your ankles remains untouched. You've been treating the wrong compartment. Now let's talk about the 3 accelerants that are making your swelling worse. And if you are over 60, you're likely doing all 3 right now. First is the hidden sodium trap. Forget the salt shaker. I'm talking about the silent sodium in your bread, your bottled sauces, and your healthy canned soups. Here is the math. For every extra gram of sodium your body traps, it tethers nearly 4 cups of water to your tissues. You aren't just eating salt, you are chemically anchoring fluid to your ankles. Second is the recliner trap. Those 3 hours in your favorite chair after dinner are the most dangerous hours of the day. You've just eaten your largest meal, your body is at its peak fluid load, and by sitting still, you're effectively turning off the pump exactly when it needs to be at full power. And third, the evening drink. Even 1 glass of wine dilates your capillaries, causing them to bleed fluid into your tissues faster than your system can ever clear it. You aren't just relaxing, you are opening the floodgates right before bed. You are essentially prepping your body for a night of internal drowning and fragmented sleep. Now let's look at the 3 ways to fix the internal math of your legs. And the first one is completely counterintuitive. You must drink more water. Most people stop drinking because they think it will reduce the swelling. But the opposite happens. Dehydration turns your lymph fluid into a thick, stagnant sludge. You aren't just drinking, you are thinning the lubricant your system needs to move that waste out. Second, you must stop the leak with protein. Your blood relies on a specialized protein called albumin, which acts like a biological sponge to keep water inside your veins. If you aren't eating enough quality protein, like eggs, fish, or legumes, your blood loses its grip and water literally falls out of your vessels and into your ankles. And third, reinforce the pipes. Foods rich in flavonoids like dark berries and citrus act like a structural sealant for your capillaries. A cup of berries a day isn't just a snack. It is a clinical intervention that strengthens your vessel walls so they stop leaking in the first place. Finally, you must address the power source. Magnesium is the spark plug for the smooth muscles that line your lymphatic vessels. Without it, those intrinsic pumps we discussed simply won't fire. By adding pumpkin seeds or dark leafy greens to your day, you are quite literally fueling the engine. But now we reach the moment you've been waiting for, the 5-minute drainage habit. This is the core of why you've stayed with me, and every second of this protocol is non-negotiable. If you perform these steps out of order, you are essentially trying to push water against a locked door. We are about to manually open 3 specific biological gates to ensure the fluid in your ankles has a clear, high-speed path back to your heart. Put your phone down, clear your space, and prepare to follow along. Here is your 24-hour lymphatic protocol. First, prime the pump. Before your feet even touch the floor tomorrow morning, do 30 slow ankle pumps. Flex your toes toward your face, then point them away. By doing this while lying flat, you are restarting your flow before gravity has a chance to sabotage you. Second, the 60-minute reset. Every hour you sit, do 20 calf raises, seated or standing. I recommend setting a health alarm on your phone. Think of this as keeping the conveyor belt moving so the reservoir never has a chance to form. Third, the pre-dinner flush. 5 minutes of walking, not as a workout, but as a mechanical clearing. This activates the deep muscle fibers that squeeze the waste out of your tissues before you sit down for the evening. And finally, the gravity assist. 90 minutes before bed, lie on your back with your legs straight up against the wall. Heels above hips, hips above heart. This 15-minute position is the master key. It uses gravity to automatically drain every drop of fluid that your muscles missed during the day. During the first 5 minutes on the wall, do slow ankle circles, 10 in each direction, followed by 20 slow flexes. But the next 5 minutes are the secret to the entire protocol, the deep vacuum breath. Place your hands flat on your belly and breathe through your nose so your abdomen rises, not your chest. This isn't a relaxation technique, it's a mechanical pump stroke. Clinical research has confirmed that deep belly breathing creates a pressure vacuum in your chest that directly stimulates the thoracic duct, the master drain for your entire lower body. Every breath is literally sucking the fluid out of your legs. For the final 5 minutes, stay still and let gravity finish the job. But before you stand up, perform the final sweep. Starting at the ankle, use the flat of your fingers to gently stroke the skin upward toward the knee, always toward the heart. This manual sweep nudges the last of that stagnant fluid into your circulation on your schedule. Within minutes, you will feel the urge to urinate, clear, pale fluid that would have otherwise woken you at 3 a.m. You've just cleared the basement and protected your sleep. Commit to this for just 14 days. Then go back to the very first test we did. Press your thumb above your ankle for 10 seconds. You will see it for yourself. The dent will be shallower. The recovery will be faster. And for the first time in years, you will wake up to find your ankles look exactly as they did when you went to bed. To start this journey today, I have 5 small missions for you. First, capture your baseline. Do the ankle press and the foot pinch test right now so you have proof of where you started. Second, tonight, 90 minutes before bed, perform the wall sequence, the breathing, the gravity assist, and the final sweep. Third, notice your sleep. Pay attention to how many times you don't have to get up tonight. Fourth, do your ankle pumps before your feet hit the floor tomorrow. And fifth, cut just 1 hidden sodium source this week. 1 canned soup or 1 salty snack is enough to start. Your ankles haven't been betraying you. They've just been running on old equipment without a manual. The system isn't broken, it's just understimulated. Give it 5 minutes in the right sequence and you'll finally feel your shoes fit the same way at 8 p.m. as they did at 8 a.m. If this helped you understand your body in a way your doctor never did, share this with one person who is tired of being handed a water pill without an explanation. And finally, leave your age in the comments below. I read every one of them to ensure the next video I make is exactly what you need to see.